go. Shoo fly. This fucking guy coming back over and over again. I'm hoping this is the start of an episode here. We're going to try to defend Sumaira Castle today to make money, right? We are a mercenary for the Southern Empire here. This is, again, just a day where I had a couple extra hours. I figured we'd fuck around a little bit and try to see if we can't do some mercenary work here. If we do get a siege, it'll also count as a nice siege defense here of Sumaira Castle, which is definitely one of the most interesting castles in the game. I've decided to do this now instead of the campaign. Here's an army, a Khazate force. It's kind of small. I've decided to do this now because this castle is really interesting, and it's very unlikely that during my campaign I will make it all the way out here. It's kind of tucked way at the edge of the map. It's literally on the furthest east part of the map here. So I'm hoping we can have a little siege. Oh shit. There's two armies here now. This will definitely work. I'm hoping we can have a... Look at, they won't even let me in. I mean, I'm the one who took the castle, and I have, like, all the troops here. Let me the fuck in, you dipshits. We're going to obviously join the defenses here. We are the defense here at Sumaira Castle. There's 800. Oh, shit. I shouldn't have spoke so soon. There's over 1,000 now. There's plenty of Khazates coming in, which is good. This castle has a really unique layout. And we're going to do some mercenary work here, right? We're going to see how much money we can make. We took this castle maybe a week ago, 10 days ago, game time. And with a small garrison here, that's a third army coming. I think they're coming. Yeah, they're definitely coming here. This almost counts as like epic siege. 2,000 Khazate now, pounding on the doors here of Sumaira Castle. And we're going to see how much money we can make. Of course, we have to actually successfully defend this castle in order to make money. Otherwise, you get, you know, mercenaries probably beheaded or thrown in a fucking nasty dungeon or some horrific shit like that. And I don't have the siege skill to give us fire catapults. But we'll give this a shot here. It's a really interesting castle layout. And this is one of the very unique castles where the tier 2 castle is better than the tier 3. And I will explain that as this episode goes along. I can't explain it right now. They're dumping me right in here. So let's see. I got the second. Let's split some divisions here. They do this a lot when you're a mercenary. It really helps to be fluent with this little menu. This is a menu I've gotten used to using over the last a month or two or three. At times I haven't wanted to use it because it kind of seems artificial, but the ability to split your units like this, especially when you're just dumped into the screen, is vital. Now, I don't know why we're not in charge of this castle. I mean, I know the game mechanics. If you're a mercenary, you don't get all the pre-setup, but I have no idea why that would be the case. There's no other commander here. We're it. There's a bunch of militia and a handful of troops in the garrison, and all of the rest of the defenders are ours. So I'm not quite certain why that is. Anyways, we will try to persevere here and defend this castle. Now, the reason I say this is a better tier 2 than tier 3, well, you'll see as the castle goes on. The tier 2 doesn't have this outer area to defend, but what it does have is a savage area to trap the enemy, right? You can concentrate your forces here. Now, the enemy will be coming up the walls here. It's hard to explain in a nutshell. I might even have to do a whole separate episode on it. And this is an odd thing with the game, with Bannerlord, but this tier 2 city, or tier 2 castle, literally is better than the tier 3. Just because of the game dynamics, right? You're able to concentrate forces better. Now, these upper walls are one of the main reasons. You cannot use these upper walls in the tier 3 castle. I know that's dumb. You know, there's a lot of things that Tale Worlds has done that's brilliant, and then there's shit like this that they've done that's incompetent. Unless my memory is incorrect, I tried this on the custom battle menu and I could not get here. I could not place troops here and I could not get here. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong on that. We'll have to. I'll have to double check, I guess. Of course, I narrate these live. Now, here's what I'm going to do. These broad fucking long upper ramparts here are amazing for crossfire, right? I can get like 30 archers positioned basically over the courtyard here, and if you notice, that stairway is the only access to this, right? So you just square infantry and put it right at the base, which means the enemy will be attacking that. We'll do a little parkour here, medieval style, to try to get back to our horse here. Where'd the fuck did my horse go? I'm old. I forget sometimes where I park. Here we go. We grab our horse here, So this area the militia's defending, I'm not going to defend this. This guy's stuck. We'll nudge him. There you go, buddy. Sometimes you got to like, these guys are like little baby ducklings. You got to like help them so they don't drown in the food bowl or some shit. So that one single passway there, we can just have infantry. And then those guys will essentially hold that side. And of course, if the enemy tries to get up there, those infantry will hold that line and the enemy will be getting shot in the back. It's either accident or it's a brilliant design by Tale Worlds. Based on a lot of the things in the game, I'm going to go with accident. What do you fellas think? Anyways, we'll take advantage of it, accident or intentional. Now look at these rooftops, right? I can also fire it down into the gatehouse from up here. So we can get the 5th Corps spread out right on top of these roofs. Now, of course, they're firing in Flaming Siege. All of this shit would be on fire, but never mind realism, right? We will have some fun today. Now, we're outnumbered 8-1. Look at the power bar. I just glanced at it. Whoops. My GeForce experience pops up. We're outnumbered bad in this siege. It's like almost 10-1. And we don't have any fire catapults, so we're not going to be able to blow up the enemy en masse. But what we have is we have crossfire. How do I get... I think I go across here. Look at this shit. This rampart over here, you guys can see, right? A lot of the game is almost like billiards, like pool. Now, I'm not very good at pool, but I understand the concepts, right? It's all about angles. And look at this angle. Those archers now are going to rake anything that comes through the gatehouse. Anything on these walls up here are going to get raked. Out of my way, fellas. And that's going to definitely help us hold that gate for longer. Of course, we'll be holding it with the square infantry there, and then the other side. Now I can't see shit here, but we're gonna launch some fireballs out there. Sometimes you just fire, and you gotta kind of follow. You gotta get up and move because some dipshit engineer put this thing here. I mean, I guess ostensibly it's to protect us, but it's in the way. I can just, if you guys can see it, the top corner of the screen there, I can just barely make out what I'm shooting at here. Of course, we're gaining engineer skills and all other kind of skills like crazy. I have learned that as a mercenary, castle and city siege almost counts like an exploit as far as power leveling, especially if you have advanced tactics like we're going to perform here. Normally, you would have no chance of defending this castle, right? If you leave the AI in charge here, or even if you auto-resolve, I'm pretty sure you lose this siege. Now, that's something I'll try to remember to go back and actually... I think I can get a save game pretty close to this. We'll try to reload it and see what the auto-resolve does here, because some guys say, hey, just get inside cities and castles the enemy's attacking as a mercenary and then auto-resolve and you just level up. There's two problems I have with that. First, auto-resolve doesn't always work. Sometimes tactics are better, believe it or not. But the second part of that is that's not very fun. You know, I mean, it's why you have sex with a woman instead of jerking off. Like, it's way more fun, trust me. You know, you young guys, like, if you're, I guess hopefully there aren't any 15-year-olds listening to this. The next thing I know, I'm going to have a knock on my door with a bunch of guys in suits. Anyways, we'll skip that subject. It's just a lot more fun to actually perform the siege than to auto-resolve, right? There's just a lot more satisfaction you'll feel. They just, sounds like they just pounded the door down. We're going to chuck some boulders here. And I think, I don't know, but I think we can do better than the auto-resolve. Now, there's definitely a chance we lose this siege, right? This is a huge force. My only experience in this is I did a custom battle with the custom menu here because someone said Sumaira Castle is really interesting. Of course, this castle's at the edge of the map. You're not really going to discover this unless you're playing Khazate or something and you're way at the edge of the eastern map. And of course, I had never seen it before the custom battle. But it's really interesting. It's I think it's unique. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't ever seen a castle or a city like this before. Maybe there's a lot of Khazate that are like this, which that'll make this episode a lot more valuable, right? My presumption right now is that there's only one of these castles, and it's in a really odd place. I guess it would be good if you were being chased by a massive aserai force and you were at the edge of the map, but it has pretty limited value, right? You want to have your fortifications nearby major places of war so that if you're in a bad spot or injured, you can retreat. Oops, sorry for all the move. My player sounds like he has Tourette's sometimes here. We're trying to get our square properly positioned, and sometimes if you click it, it tells him to attack by accident. We need the proverbial allied kill here to ensure victory, right, Argyle? I'm trying, buddy. I keep getting lucky and finding the enemy. Yeah, I'm fumbling all over the place here. Sorry about this, fellas. So what I'm basically trying to do here is have two squares, right? I'm trying to have one square to the enemy's left as they come in, and it's not letting me, this fucking stupid-ass UI. You can see, though, what's happening, though, right? Anything that comes through the gate here gets an absolute barrage of arrows, right? So I'm going to stack guys up right here. I beg your pardon. I've got the 3rd Corps. This infantry division is kind of my attack dog division. The 1st is usually my I guess the 3rd is my sword, and the second, or the 1st is my shield. Now, the enemy's pouring over the ramparts here, but look where they're going. Actually, I don't know where they're going. I don't know if they're attacking archers or what, but we're going to attack them from behind here with the 3rd Corps, right? Like I said, this attack dog division, we'll send these guys in to do some savage shit here. I can't tell if the enemy's rallying over there. Whatever they're doing, we're going to try to stop it here. Sometimes the enemy does stupid shit. Sometimes it has very devious plans, and will set up like ambushes, or it will set up like a rallying spot where they get 80 guys set up and then overwhelm you. We're not going to let that shit happen here. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on here. One of the difficulties I have here, some of them definitely are attacking the square. One of the difficult parts I have here is it's a long ways between my two different defensive spots, right? Now I can pull back here, right? This is my contingency plan. You guys hear me talk about that a lot. Some guys don't even know what that word is. Basically your backup plan, right? We're going to make sure that contingent on things going shitty, we're going to have the ability to fall back to right where I am right now, right? There's lots of angles here we can play with. Of course, those troops, you can see the arrows shooting, flaming over my head here. We're going to have cover fire. That'll help any melee that we have going on here. Now, I've got javelins with this character, but he does have like 100 bow skill or 200 bow skill. He won't be worthless. The enemy's coming up these ladders, which is fine though. Look what's happening, right? They come up those they come up those ladders and they get shot in the neck, right? All the death sounds. The enemy's going to have a rough time getting any access there. The main gate remains the biggest concern I have, but look at that shit, right? Square there, these guys firing down from the top, and then errant javelins hitting our troops. Now, so far this episode, my accuracy is true, which is either good or bad. Hey, catch this, Fian. Right in the face. Do a little sniping here. I think I just got reinforcements. There's a bunch of guys now in our 3rd division. Let's see what we got going on here. There's more guys in the 2nd and more guys in the 3rd. So that's our 1 reinforcement wave. I'm not running the Battlesize mod for this episode. Look at that shit, though, right? The enemy's coming in, they're attacking the square, and they're being destroyed, right? Now we're going to fucking crimp them in here with our other division and really apply pressure to them. There's just going to be a flush of green here as our troops bore in. And so far, so good, right? This castle is acting like I hope it was going to act. Now, this siege is a long ways from being over. Every time I look up at the power bar, we have this little tiny blue sliver. That militia is like bugged out or something. He's doing a jig, and then he's yelling, "Die, you pig!" All right, we got ourselves a bow and arrow, I think. Here we go. We got some arrows. So now that our quiver is gone, now we can switch to archery. I'm going to reinforce the 1st division here because, of course, it's vital that the main gate doesn't suffer a blowout, at least not in a hurry. And look at all these archers, right? These guys can cover the front gate. They have protection on the other side there if the enemy charges here. And then, of course, these other divisions have crossfire, right? The division up on the upper rampart there can shoot guys attacking here. These guys are also covering those ladders. You probably noticed that a minute or two ago. I was trying to point it out. You know, when you have these guys that can cover 2-3 areas, the only way you're in a big problem is if the enemy has a concerted... and it does this sometimes, but a concerted Zerg attempt at all your locations, right? It'll send guys up the ladders, through the door. Where's my horse? I'm looking for my horse. I wish I had a horse. You can ride around on a horse in a battle like this, and the benefit, of course, is I can go back and... The benefit of horse, is I can go back and forth between these 2 different defensive spots. Here, I'm reduced to just speeding it up with the RTS mod. try to save your fella's time so this keep doesn't take forever. So this is my indicator, right? Like an alarm that there's troops here, right? Our guys are shooting. That means clearly there's some carnage going on over here, and predictably there's a big flush of the enemy trying to attack our square here, leading up to these archers, right? The AI is not stupid. It's like, fuck, we're getting shot to pieces when we come through there. Well, actually, the AI is stupid, but it is at least doing some plausible sense here, right? It's basically saying we must get through these guys to kill that square, right? And obviously now we have crossfire on them. We're shooting them in the back, and now we're going to send in a third corps just to execute every single last one of these insolent attackers. So again, I want that fourth. Look at this guy's stuck. Let me unstick you, dude. This guy's archery skills aren't terrific. It's like I'm shooting right at his head and it's going over his ear or something like that. Now this side is kind of a trickle. I think they have ladders over here. I didn't see them build a siege tower. Honestly, I didn't pay that close attention. Usually I pay a little closer attention. Sometimes I'm busy explaining like what the episode is hopefully going to be about. But this was my hope, right? We've still got to win this castle siege, and it's by no means a sure thing, right? It looks good, but there's tons of enemies. They got fucking lords coming in and roaring at us, and they have a strong army. We have the Lord Retinue mod going on, and so they're packed with high-end troops here. And obviously this is all the troops we get, right? We don't get any more. This is no more reinforcements for us, no more militia. This is what you see here is what you get, which I love that part of Siege. It really does feel like your back's to the wall. There's a level of stress. It's good stress, right? Like in the fire service, we get the bad stress, fucking people getting injured or stuck in fires and shit like that. It's stressful. This is good stress. I dig this shit. And these castle sieges, you know, they always feel stressful in a good way. It's like a roller coaster, right? It's or something like that. It's terrifying and at the same time exhilarating. So you can see what's going on here, right? The enemy, oh shit, that guy almost drilled me with that giant fucking Rumphalia. The enemy's trickling up. I can't pick up these javelins too, I think. I got a shield, sword, archer. Yeah, so it takes up all 4 weapon slots. Now the main, I hear yelling again. And the problem I have is I don't know if it's here or at the main gate. It's disconcerting because obviously it takes me like a minute, even with it sped up, to get back to the main gate. And at any point, you know, I can just see hundreds of blue uniforms, teal uniforms here as the Khazate pours in. I slid all the way down the stairs. But so far so good, right? This square is offset slightly. I do that a lot of times so that the archers outside can't completely obliterate it with archery fire, especially against Khazate, right? You can count on them having archers. A lot of their mounted units just turn into foot troops or foot archers in a battle like this. So this is a continuation also of this mercenary series. I haven't fucked around that much as a mercenary. I guess more accurately, I haven't fine-tuned my mercenary ability. And what it really comes down to is trying to win big battles on your own or without a lot of help, because then you rake in massive amounts of what is it, renown and influence and all the shit that gets you money with your mercenary contract, right? Push that shit. Not okay. All that stuff adds up to a lot of money. You get paid X amount of gold, I think, for every influence point. But also the amount of loot you can get and all the prisoners from the nobles from these battles is unbelievable, right? If you haven't watched any of this series, I don't want to spoil it. But we've had, you know, a few battles where the loot and the amount of nobles and how much gold we made was unbelievable, right? Like, I know there's a lot of guys who struggle with gold early on in a campaign. Admittedly, right, they're probably not going to be able to take out a big army with a small force like this. Here they come. Archers are pouring this way. We better get in. We're going to hold this gate and we're going to get out of sight, right? This is, again, where I'm going to move these guys out of sight because I don't want these guys... I don't want them getting shot from the enemy from the outside. I want those archers coming in here just like that. It's going to be a fucking massacre now. We'll get these archers back here on the roof. Anyways, to finish that point, being a mercenary before you're a vassal and before you make your own kingdom, to me, I don't know if they intended it like that, but it's an incredible way to make absolutely heaps of money. I mean, in 4, 5, 6 hours of gameplay, if you use some advanced tactics, even if you use some sort of intermediate tactics, I think maybe if you tried this siege outnumbered 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, you would make a huge amount of gold. And of course, you can auto-resolve if your tactics are something you're still working on. You can obviously also just make a save game, right? And try to fight the siege until you're more adept, right? You guys should be practicing. I have no problem. Save scumming is such a shitty word. Just reload your game and play the siege over again. How are you supposed to get better? That'd be like them saying, well, WNBA, or not WNBA, the NBA, there's practice is forbidden, right? We're going to go ahead and just make it so that you guys have to sit around all day, sit around for 9 months, and then you're going to play the NBA championships. No, that doesn't make any sense, right? Practice at Bannerlord, you'll get better. If you have a difficult time with the siege, fight it again, right? If we lose this siege here, I'm probably going to fight it again, especially at this stage, since I see the recipe for success, right? I don't know for sure if we're going to win, but if we don't, we're going to try this again. These guys are raking over here again. That's like my alarm dog that, okay, there's shit going on here. The enemy's flooding in. This square here is pretty weakened. And, you know, there's cons guards running up to it, wailing away. The squares are strong, but they're obviously not impervious, right? The cons guard wails on a guy holding a shield long enough, he's a dead man. Alright, I was still trying to finish that point, I guess, here while we fight off this little sad enemy attempt here. I don't think they're going to be able to take us from this side here. Between the crossfire, I mean, they have tough units. That's a fucking fiend champ. Between the crossfire and our... Well, they're starting to pour in now. You know, we've got this infantry division here. I'm not sure this is going to be able to stop us. But those guys that are running around, you know, desperate for money, do some mercenary work, right? Do some... And I don't mean, like, you know, help a caravan. I mean, get into some battles where you can swing the odds in your favor... or swing the odds in your empire's favor, especially if you have ranged units where you can do a lot of damage at range and minimal risk to your army, right? Because in that case, obviously, you will rack up kills and avoid being destroyed, right? Guys have talked to me about that, and we've had some discussion. They're like, well, what do you do for mercenaries? Well, for sure, you don't want to have like 90% infantry, fellas. That's just not going to work. We got a full-on breach over here. Fuck, this is a crisis. As I run over here, make sure you have plenty of archers with your mercenary line. What do we do here? Let's see. Those guys are going to get enveloped up there. Those guys are fucked on the roof. The guys on the far side there, we can actually... Maybe we can pull them on the ramparts, right? I can literally drag those guys on the ramparts all the way across here. But I got a major problem here. This is a much bigger breach than I anticipated. And I don't have much infantry, right? We just don't have many troops. So suddenly this just got stressful. More stressful. Those guys on the roof are dead men. Let's pull these guys. So watch this. These 22 guys here, they can use the ramparts, I think, the whole way. If I tell them to do that, basically go to a different point on the ramparts, they should now go to a different location. But we got ourselves a good old-fashioned brawl here. Now this keep siege looks very difficult. Let's do this shit. I am using this side campaign to do just a little bit of practice because my one-handed skill is not very good. I've played a two-handed character most of my Bannerlord career, if you can call it that, and so I need a little bit of work, right? Doing some various different dance moves and kind of learning what kind of sword length and speed I like. Fuck. I'm getting fucking attacked. Of course, a lot of guys would be dead already. Incredibly, in this little side campaign, and I'm not even going to continue it. This guy got, you can see his armor. He got basically literally the best armor in the game in a drop against a minor clan. It was like 120 or something like that. One army, one little, I don't even know if you can call it an army, one little noble unit. It was like a Legion of the Betrayed or whatever the fuck. It was one minor clan noble and this legendary something something or other. You can see what it is. It's the stats are unbelievable. And so suddenly this guy, even though he's like level 20, is just an absolute tank. Albeit maybe his weapon skill's kind of weak. All right, so look at this. These guys can shoot from up here, right? And this gives us, again, more crossfire. So the enemy's flooding in that side over there. I just looked up at the power bar. We've got a little tiny purple sliver. I have 3 infantrymen. Let's do this shit. Oh, shit. I didn't need to do that. Fucking suffer a bunch of fall damage. If I can get some crossfire here from these archers, though, maybe we can kill these incoming troops. The good thing is they're not coming in a massive wave. It's sort of a trickle. All right, I've got this infantry division here, right? 2 guys. They're getting zerged on the walls here. That was inevitable. They've blown this square up over here, so we're not going to be able to defend that. Those guys are on their own. The only help they're going to get from us now are archers down here in the courtyard. Of course, our guys can shoot the guys attacking them as well, but we're going to have to concentrate our defenses here into a tight area. And this is probably going to feel a little bit like, I don't play them, but like one of those zombie apocalypse games where just zombies are coming at you in every direction. The mindless AI, complete with limbs flying off, is going to be pouring in against us here until either we win or they're all destroyed. Or we're destroyed. 60. We have like 70 troops, 60 troops maybe. This is going to be gritty, and we like gritty, right? Let's put the 3rd Infantry Division in a shield wall. 1 guy. Hold that shield wall there, man. I'm counting on you. I've got 1 other guy I'm using as an escort, basically a bodyguard. And now it's just kind of a matter of fighting for our life. Not a whole lot of tactics here other than crossfire and getting units in different locations. Let's do this shit. Let's work on our one-handed skill. This will be a sick victory. Of course, this guy has low athleticism, so he's kind of trudging around the battlefield. Our infantry line is holding. Form a shield wall. The 1 guy. The archers are raking these guys. A lot of these guys are low-level troops, right? Fortunately, if this was like Khan's guards, we'd be totally fucked. But low-level troops, maybe we got a chance here. Can cut these guys down. Too many of these archers are getting attacked in melee. Shit, they're starting to really press in from the other side. I got literally 1 infantry holding each edge. Oh, this is a big press over here. We're gonna have to just wade in here. Let's go, man. I still got archers above us shooting. That's gonna help. They got a fucking Khan's guard, or is that our Khan's guard? I think that's on. I think we have 1 Khan's guard. Just look down. I have half health still. We're doing okay. I still see a lot of green damage, right? A lot of green death spam. It's good. We're avoiding a bad shot here, especially to the head. This guy's got mediocre armor, and as soon as I said that, I got fucking slashed in the face. Now they're bringing up archers. I'll tear your limbs. Oh shit. Can't run away from anybody. I got 5 archers over there. I've got a handful towards the main gate, but they're just not going to help us. 20% health. Now I'm 1 on 2. Get away. Come on. Come on. You know, like the character yells. Come on. I wish you could fucking yell that and rally your troops. It'd be cool if there were little things like that where you yell, come on, get some, you know, or something like that. And your troops all of a sudden for, I don't know, 20 seconds have like triple damage or something, more speed or something. It would be cool if you could basically spur an adrenaline push. I'm fucked. I got guys behind me. I'm getting fucking slashed by a sickle. It feels like an episode of The Matrix. Every time I turn, there's a new fucking guy trying to slash me with his pitchfork or something. I'll tear your limbs. But, alas, this defense is not to be here. We've got a handful of archers. And you guys, some guys probably watching are surprised to see that we do film our losses for the channel. You know, this is a thing. That's because, quite frankly, Bannerlord is hard, right? You get your ass kicked. You get stomped to the ground here. What are these guys? These are our troops. I don't even actually care about them. Cannot issue orders while dead. Yeah, this episode's over. But I bet we killed 1,200 here at least. I guess we could try to... I'm not known for giving up here. Let's try to pull a little bit of a maneuver here. If we can get guys jammed in that door, maybe our archers could just shoot these guys. Probably not, though. I don't think our archers can get through. In fact, I can't get through. I'm getting fucking slashed. They're trash talking me, telling me I'm a bastard. How do you know my mom wasn't married, motherfucker? You don't know. Fucking dipshit. We'll give this another shot here, though. The Khazate here are victorious. 1,500, right? So we killed 3/4. We're most of the way there. I got to guard the main gate a little bit better. But I think this is a keep defense where it's worth taking another shot. So I'm going to reload this. I don't know how much of the second battle I'll show you. If it's an interesting battle, maybe I'll show you the whole thing. And if we lose, maybe this is the only one I'll show you. So actually, with that being the case, again, you want to subscribe? Do you want to see more from our channel? Do you want to see us get defeated more often? I appreciate you fellas. Please hit like and all that normal stuff I say here. And I'll see you guys next time. Just going to do this like in a hurry here. We'll see. This is one of those situations where I haven't decided yet on whether or not I'm going to be narrating here, mumbling to myself, or narrating this to share this with you fellas on YouTube. They have a siege tower, so this is a different, more difficult siege defense here. We're trying this again. This is Samira Castle. Of course, if you're listening to that, I'm probably going to attach this to the other attempt at Samira Castle. Of course, we failed the first time. You're aware of that if you're watching this. So I'm going to do a few things a little bit differently here, but I'm also going to watch that main gate a little closer. Now, the fact that they have a siege tower is going to make this different. That means there's going to be more guys coming from wherever that siege tower is. If it's here, I'll have to really watch out. Although I see those little sticks to push the ladder, I assume that means the siege tower is on the other end of the castle here. But most of this worked, and I think we just have to... Oh, this poor gal. Next time I'll give you our armor. Sorry there, hun. She has no armor at all. It's a new companion we literally just picked up. But this part here I liked, and I'm going to do this again. And I understand at this stage very few people probably watch. Actually, I'm curious, right? Like, I don't know. There's no way for me to know how many people watch to this stage other than you guys just speaking up saying, I never watched past the first one, dipshit. Or you guys could just, you know, leave some comments and say, I like it when you try, you know, a failed attempt a second time to see if you can succeed. And here's a hint on this one. It's a little bit of a spoiler, although you never know for sure. This is at least going to be an interesting defense. If we don't succeed, it's going to be close, right? Because I'm not going to show you a siege that's worse than the first one, right? You guys know I'm not going to waste your time. I don't roll like that. And I will try to speed this siege up. In other words, I'm going to use the RTS mod to run around and do this much faster. A lot of this, of course, is deja vu, right? Both for me and for you. You saw a lot of this, but we're going to effectively try to correct our mistakes. What mistakes did we make? The first one, I would say the biggest thing is I left the guys at the gate too long and too vulnerably, right? I'm going to try to keep my horse for more of this episode. You can see how nice it is for me to run around on the horse. But I'm going to try to form a little different defensive formation, right? We are going to tighten our defenses early on if I feel pressure and try to defend that main upper area where we can get savage crossfire. I think if we had 50 more troops in that first episode at that end period, at that whatever you want to call it, the zombie crush scrum at the end, then I think we might have been able to pull this off. And this will be fucking amazing if we can pull this siege off. I'm already satisfied with the results of that first siege defense. I mean, even though we lost, of course, you would not want that to happen for your campaign. But I also didn't defend this castle thinking that we'd be up against 2,000 Khazate. This little side campaign can't be more than... a year old, and what I mean by that is a year in game time, and already the enemy is fucking flooding us with 2,000 troops. I don't know if I live a charmed life or what, but that happens a lot in my campaign. I get huge armies that assault us. It just seems to be a thing. Guys ask all the time, they're like, how do you get such big sieges? I only get 400. Get out of my way, dude. Shit. I had it on too fast there for too long. And I couldn't tell you why we have so many. We do have a couple mods that does increase the lords, but I don't have the strengthened AI mod going right now. At least I don't think it's been active. I don't see it when I load up my game. So normally you see it when you load in. Anyways, if we're able to win this is going to be a very interesting haul of gold. So if you want to see massive amounts of loot, I guess you can always skip to the end of the episode. If we win, there's going to be all the incredible influence and all that shit we'll get from winning against this huge Khazate force. And obviously if we lose, we get thrown in a dark dungeon, right? This is I don't remember what the Latin term for it is, but fortune favors the bold, right? This is how you get rich in Bannerlord. All of this stuff helps too, of course, firing these rocks, right? We're making levels, we're gaining EXP, we're gaining medicine skills, we're gaining all kinds of shit. And of course, the more kills you get, I think that directly impacts how much loot and all that shit for keep defense. Now, we have almost all the troops in this keep defense, right? So we're going to get 60, I think 60, 70, 80% of the loot if we win. Whereas, of course, if there's a lot of defenders here, maybe you have a mercenary force of 100 and there's 700-800 defenders here of Southern Empire, you're going to get a fraction of the loot, right? You're going to get... It's always weird when people say, oh, I just killed one of our militia. Sorry, dude. You're going to get like an 1/8 or a 1/10 of the loot. There goes my horse. I watched that motherfucker. I'm going to go get him. I want to be on my horse longer in this episode. I think I'll have more survivability, but the biggest thing is that I'll be able to move around fast, right? And basically observe what's going on and then make changes as necessary. Motherfuckers are not even paying attention, blocking my shit. So the enemy again is getting raked. I've got this 3rd division here basically fighting anybody that kind of gets beyond the gate there. In other words, the guys that are not scrumming the square. And I want to get my horse, but I've got to pay attention to this first, right? When the gate's in a situation like this, the first enemy vanguard with all their elite troops, all these dark hands, we got to kill these guys here. The lancers, heavy lancers and shit. We got to kill these guys here before we move to the next stage. Now the militia's a bonus. You can kind of see militia running around. Obviously, not only are those not my troops, I have no control over them. When you're a mercenary, obviously troops that are not in your party, you can't order. They do whatever the fuck they want. In fact, they're on the walls getting shot to pieces. But it is helpful, right? It's oh, where you going, motherfucker? This horse, I guess he doesn't want to be ridden. He's already bloody. Maybe he's injured. Come on, boy. One more battle here. Actually, it's always one more battle, isn't it? And get archers over on this side here. Holy shit, they already killed the square. Okay, this is very different this episode. There's one guy who's stuck or something, and there's a big pile of our guys killed there. So we're gonna... I've got reinforcements already in the 4th. That must be all our reinforcements. We're gonna stick those guys there and try to reform that square. If those archers start getting swallowed up, we're in trouble. I don't know where these guys are going. Maybe they're rallying? They killed that square, and now they're gonna rally. You guys gonna just stand there? I'll just throw javelins at you until you block, dipshits. I think they're being shot at by militia. I don't think our guys can shoot them. Maybe these guys up here have an angle. Actually, they do. I can see some of those guys shooting at them. Alright, so check this out, right? I have this archer division here. Let's shoot these fucks, right? I've got this door I can close on the enemy. They can't get in over there, right? What we can actually do is drag archers up those stairs and shoot at the enemy. Before we do that, though, let's check the main gate, right? Let's make sure things aren't getting ugly. I told you I was going to watch this a lot closer, and indeed, as soon as I come back, it looks like all the fucking children are misbehaving here. It's time to spank some Khazate. You guys are all on fucking grounded. 125 damage, and that guy doesn't die. So this is a tough Khazate force, right? That's not normal. That means they have extra hit points from perks, some lord or something like that. Those guys have the center covered well. Here's another thought I have. Watch this. If I take guys from the 6th to the 7th, those guys will start heading this way because they move to where the 7th is positioned. What I can actually do is leave those guys like halfway there and tell them to stop. They're heading this direction, at least I hope so. Here they come. And what I'm going to do here, and I'll slow it down and show you. These guys right here, as soon as they're right to the edge there, I'm going to tell them to stop. And those guys will now be positioned well to shoot at any enemies coming through the door. Now, they're vulnerable, but they're protected by a lot of crossfire. You motherfuckers coming in on our infantry here. This is much better being on a horse. I mean, I could just come in here and slam guys from behind, carve at guys. Let's pull this first away. Both of those archer divisions can rip them apart here. This episode is, this attempt is going much better than that first. Let's get in here and just cut these guys down from behind. My health is 100%, although my horse is, oh shit. My horse is fucking killed is what it is. I'm in trouble. We'll just fall back here into the square. Damn. I should have been more careful with my horse. Well, you learn every single battle, right? I've got 10,000 hours of playing Bannerlord. That's not a... I didn't misspeak. 10,000 hours. We'll chop some heads off here. But you gotta keep your horse healthy for this kind of battle. If I fight this in a campaign or something like that in the future, I will definitely prioritize the health of the horse, right? We will do some equine protection because the ability to move between these two different locations is vital. Fucking assholes, get off. Let's kill this lord here. How did you kick him? There we go. Kanujan, eat shit. I've got only 3 guys left in the 3rd corps. I got to get this square near the gate, but it's really beat up. I need reinforcements there. Okay. My alarm dogs over there are telling me that there's troops over there. Right, they're shooting. That means we're definitely being shot at over there. Problematic. We gotta head in that direction. Apologize again for all this division. You guys can let me know in the comments of what you think of it, right? Are all these dividings of troops, is that highly negative to your your enjoyment or your viewing experience? I mean, I'm making these videos for you fellas. I mean, although I do every once in a while watch one of my episodes, go back and watch, and I get a kick sometimes out of watching a particular episode or something like that. But you guys need to tell me if this dividing troops like this is driving you crazy. These are perfect opportunities to leave feedback. And I've said it before, I'll say it now. I've got thick skin, fellas. I'm almost 50. I've been in the military, the Coast Guard, the fire department, fire service my whole life. I don't mind criticism. You guys can say, yeah, don't do that shit so much. You guys can say, hey, you're narrating too much. I like to hear just battles sometimes. And I get that kind of comment once in a while. But the point, though, is I usually listen. I'm going to take your feedback and listen to you fellas. And move these troops back here. I've got that square holding that wall. There's no reason for me to really risk any troops, right? Risk melee. The reality is in a keep siege like this, to win a 10-to-1 outnumbered situation like this, and I'm just going to drag these archers up there. I'm going to reinforce this upper area. What you need is highly efficient killing. I mean, that's almost like the tagline for the channel. Highly efficient killing. Tactical enlightenment. My wife thinks it's very ironic because she helps people as a life coach. So she's like, yeah, I help people get better and heal and love, and then you teach people how to kill more efficiently. She laughs out loud like, I'm not quite certain who I married here. I don't know if I married, you know, some fucking totalitarian dictator despot, or whether or not my husband is actually a good fella. But in a siege like this, right, you must be efficient, right? Even if we're getting a 6-to-1 kill ratio in this battle, we lose, right? Because we're outnumbered like 8 or 9 to 1. But that's what I like to see. Look at that upper right, right? It's just a flush of green as the enemy gets shot to pieces. And most of it's archers, right? You're not going to win. Damn it. These guys, again, the square at the front gate is burst. All right, this time, I'm not going to make the same mistake, right? We're going to immediately get these troops moved out of there, and we're going to save these guys. I'm going to get infantry down here in a hurry. I don't have very many. I can pull a few from the 4th. But what we're going to do, basically, is what I did last episode, last battle, only we're going to do it sooner, right? I'm going to tighten in our defenses here so that these troops spread out like this don't get massacred. All these guys on the roof, if I leave these guys here and just wander away, they will get cut down, right? So first we're going to divide them between the 5th and the 6th. That way more of the guys are already sort of pre-retreated. And the first sign that these guys are getting zerged, I'm going to get these guys out of here. I also want to use those upper ladderways because I realize that's literally a kill box with the enemy down here in the courtyard. If I can get those archers spread out, infantry here, although we have almost no infantry, if I can get archers spread all around here, including up there, with infantry holding a square, we are going to be able to do massive damage to enemy flushes. Here they come. Yeah, see, I got to move these guys out of here. They're going to get killed. 5th Corps, get the fuck out of there. Let's give them some protection. I've got a square heading that way to hopefully intercept the enemy. And these archers here, these guys need to be spread out better. For now, we're going to provide cover fire for these retreating units, right? We're moving archers back here, so I'm going to drag this division here so that it's basically, you know, it's like snipers on the roof for the Marines that are part of the invasion force, right? We're gonna give them some cover fire and plow the road. I guess this is like your air support, right? We're going to have air superiority in this episode. Look at all those guys down there about to be in a firing squad. We got to worry about these guys coming up the ladder here. But they're slow. They're coming up slow. Even though you get these Santa hat motherfuckers blocking everything, I think we can still handle this. I think. I say I think. I'm glad this is very different than the first episode, too. It's a very different feel to it. I've got these 2 different archer divisions, and you can see the crossfire, right? Those guys are all going to be protected by those other units. Now we'll get this division, this 2nd Corps, right here. Look at this shit. This is going to be fucking beautiful. I'm down to 1 infantry in that division again. Infantrymen, take your position. Kill them all. I'm the infantryman for this side here. I got you guys covered. I got farmers swinging their fucking farming implements at me. I'm gonna get out of here, actually. There's enough archer support up there. Those guys can, they can handle themselves. Plus, I can't get killed. Things will go bad in a hurry. I'm pretty sure that stairway to that far side is still protected. I can't go over there yet. I'm gonna go over there when I can. But we're holding this center area, and we have nasty crossfire. Now it's just a matter of doing what we did in the first battle. We just have more crossfire, more archers. Get off. Fucking Santa Claus motherfuckers swinging their scythes at me. It's like the Grim Reaper, right? A guy swinging his scythe at you. Oh, shit. And here comes the Reaper. Look at him coming up. He looks like the Reaper, too. Yeah. He says, ugh. You gotta love the sounds in this game. He's like, ooh, ooh. He's fucking exerting some effort as he swings his scythe at me. This is a massacre over here. I can just see the arrows raining down. Looks like machine gun fire, and the enemy's totally trapped. In fact, I'm going to borrow troops from this 4th Corps. They've got it held so well. I'm going to steal a few guys. And at this stage, I've advanced to a highly degree amount of micromanagement. I mean, most people, when they see me, they're astonished that I do this much micromanagement. This is something you build up over time, fellas. If you're new to Bannerlord, or maybe you've played for 3 months or something, or maybe you've played for a year and done F1, F3, trust me, this is not because I'm Yoda. This is because I've done a lot of practice, right? I've advanced from 5 divisions to 6 to 7 to 8. and obviously obtained a pretty high degree of proficiency of micromanaging, right? We want this square up high up those stairs so the enemy's back is turned to our archers. And these guys are in a death trap now. We've set ourselves up a total kill box here. That side is protected. The death spam is almost entirely green. Every once in a while there'll be an ally lost. These guys are coming up the ladder here. There's a couple losses. But these guys are going to get carved to pieces. Now I'm just keeping this infantry division and these archers back for where it's necessary. Of course, I'm trying to speed through this. If I combine these two episodes at this stage, it's probably going to be a 45-minute plus episode. I know some of you fellas don't mind a longer episode, but there's also some guys that are like, and they've come out and said it, you know, because I ask for feedback. They're like, your episodes are way too long, man. You need to do way more editing and shit like that. And I'm like taken back by it, like, okay, no problem. You know, like I said, I handle feedback, but I'm also still human. When guys are like, your channel sucks, man. You talk too much, you swear too much. Fuck you. Are they routing? They're running the opposite way. Fucking beautiful. All right, well, we won't have to talk too much more of this episode here. We got to count up our loot here from this incredible victory. Every once in a while, I will just record this episode, but I think I'm going to record and include both of these. I think there's enough instructional value in what I did wrong in that first battle. This second battle, obviously, checkmate, right? We fucked the enemy up here. What is that, a 16-to-1 kill ratio? That's good stuff right there. 200 renown and 280 influence, and we get 93% of the loot, right? That is sick. Our ghetto companions here become a little less ghetto. Look at them run, and we're going to pile up some major loot and gold and prisoners from this battle. Come with us.
I yield. I give up.
Look at them all, just a horde of fucking Khazate nobles. 1,500 prisoners with our 160. I mean, that's awesome. Look at how many there are. These are all prisoners from this battle. Now, if you were at a city, you would take them all and then sell them to the... Well, I don't know who you sell them to. You sell them to somebody, some slave trader or something like that, and you would get a huge amount of money. Here, I just want a handful of these guys to recruit. So we'll take a few of these guys. Obviously, I'm not going to take this many prisoners. And we will wrap this up and show you the loot. Do a few upgrades here. Whoops, sorry about that fucking email. We will do a few of these things up here and wrap this episode up. Hopefully we get another sick piece of armor here. I always like it when you guys see awesome drops. Guys like to see that shit. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording when this unbelievable piece of armor fell. But it is what it is. Yeah, look at all this shit. All of this is 5,000 or more. There's 3 of some and 5 of some others. 10,000, 10,000, 20,000. And look at this nasty saber. That's like the kind of weapon you might wield until the very end of the game, right? A legendary long saber. And I've got it as a mercenary at like level 17 or 18 or something. Anyways, you get the idea, right? A massive haul of loot here. I didn't see how much money we... You know how you loot a bunch of money, but we made like 100,000 there. Look at our mercenary contract, right? 30,000, and our troops cost 1,400. Look at all these nobles out here. How do they escape? I guess they ran away. Anyways, we'll track those guys down. I'm gonna wrap this episode up. Like I said, the first round. Please hit like. I appreciate you fellas. Of course, you want to subscribe if you want to see more from the channel. We do pretty much non-stop tactics, non-stop anecdotal history, and non-stop profanity here on the channel. I appreciate you fellas. Of course, you want to leave comments or questions. You can leave your criticism. Bring it on, fellas. Don't feed the trolls. Anybody overtly just trying to get a reaction with their criticism, well, those guys can eat shit. There aren't too many of those guys. Fortunately, we've cultivated a very friendly environment on the channel, right? When you make comments on here, if I see people trashing you with comments, almost certainly I'm either going to delete their comment, boot them, or just do what the old silverback gorilla does when young silverbacks are fighting and say, hey fellas, take it easy, man. This is just a game. Don't get mad at each other. Have spirited debate, but let's try to keep it nice. Again, with all that said, I'm way too long-winded today. I must have too much caffeine. I'll let you guys go. Thanks again for watching, fellas. See you guys next time.